Hi everyone, welcome to 1/6 Figure Focus, and in this video we're going to take a look at the focus method, how to prioritize your collection. Let's get started. Alright, straight off the bat, a slight correction. It's technically not prioritizing your collection, it's actually prioritizing my collection, because these are just the things that I do to help me decide like what's important and what figures I want to add to the collection, because obviously things are getting more expensive. We have inflation, we have the recession, we have the price of fuel and all these things that I don't have to explain to you, that you already know. So this isn't like advice or like tips really, just these are the things that I do, and maybe if you you might find some of them helpful and you might not, but I'm not like giving any advice. I typically don't tell people what to do in the channel. It's just like, this is what I do, and if it benefits anyone and you can adopt some of the techniques, happy days. That's exactly what I do, because I look at loads of different 1/6 scale kind of content creators and YouTubers and influencers, whatever you want to call them, and I do take in all the data, and then sometimes I'll see an idea kind of going, yeah, actually that's really smart, I'm actually going to adopt that, maybe like, I don't know, from Lael or Will or Marco from 1/6Fix or whoever. So this is the focus method. These are the few steps that I do typically before when I'm trying to decide what's important in my collection, which is now more important than ever. So this is first of all the disclaimer: it's your money, it's your collection, it's your choice. Just to reiterate this is not advice, not telling anyone what to do. Typically don't do that in the channel, but these are things that work for me. Alright, step 1, the triple threat. If you were watching Collector's Lounge over on Lael's channel, the 1/6 scale man last Sunday, Lael got me to do this kind of like a how to prioritize your collection, focus type of thing. So this is obviously what the presentation I had for this, and now I'm just kind of adopting and putting it out there in my own video, and a slightly extended version as well. I might actually do a live stream on this as well. So step 1 is quite simple. It's the triple threat. Before I commit to pre-order any of these figures, clicking that pre-order button or just buying that figure or dropping that NRD, it has to be in what I call a triple threat. So what is that? Let's say hypothetically I want to buy a DX19. The first question I'd ask myself, I don't really typically have to have the dialogue with myself, but the first question that's important to me is that, do I like the character? And do I like the character Batman? Yeah, absolutely. So tick number 1. The second thing then, do I like the source material? So the DX19, that particular suit is from The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises. Absolutely. Tick number 2. And finally then, do I like the suit? So this is the suit here. This is actually my favorite Batman suit out of all the different suits. And I like a lot of them, whether it's 1966 or 1989 or the recent The Batman or The Dark Knight. This one, I just always loved this particular suit because a real world feel, that kind of Christopher Nolan style, where he takes stuff from the comic books and some stuff works and he leaves stuff, other stuff that won't work behind in the graphic novels and the comic books. And I really like this. This gave a really real world feel. It's like an armored up bat suit, and I really like it. So it's a triple threat, so therefore I can 100% justify putting that into my collection. Maybe that will work for you, or maybe you just you like to just just go with the flow a bit more, but yeah, look, just works for me. Another example, Iron Man. Let's say you're picking up that Mark III, that 2.0. If I'm looking at that, the first thing you'd be like, do I like Iron Man? Of course I do. Do I like the source material? 2008 Iron Man film? Absolutely. Because my collecting, I've said this multiple times before in different videos and on different streams, my own and other people's, my collection, I think I merged those two words together there. My collecting habits is rooted not in comic books or anime or anything like that. It's rooted in movies and TV shows, like a lot of people, particularly movies. So for me, like the source material is important and the movie is important. Like if it's not a good movie, I find it really hard to commit to purchasing something from a movie or TV show that I wouldn't like. So do I like the character Iron Man? Yes. Do I like the source material, the 2008 Iron Man movie, the movie that started all the MCU? Yes. And do I like this particular version? Because let's face it, Iron Man is like 85 different suits, and that's not including the comic book versions of doing stuff like that. The Mark III is iconic. It's a fantastic looking suit. It has the traditional red and gold look, that kind of hot rod red, your circular arc reactor. It's a real chunky suit, so it's obviously not nanotech. It's like a man in a suit. The silhouette is just fantastic. Like, it's kind of definitely one of my top 5, not top 3 suits. I think the Mark VI though I'd still put ahead of this, but look, I have the quarter scale version of this, but I really want the 6 scale. It has been pre-ordered. So there's just 2 examples of a triple threat. Do I like the character? Do I like the source material? Do I like that particular version, that particular suit of that that the figure is representing? Yes, and yes. Yeah, easy buy. Now the second thing we're going to look at, second step that I do when I'm trying to prioritize my collection and figure out what am I going to pre-order, what's important, is the win method, right? So step 2, win, what's important. Now, different times, different things would be important. Sometimes, like, I like pre-ordering because it allows me to put on a payment plan. I know a lot of people don't like payment plans, but I'd rather pay $50 a month for 6 months than get, you know, slapped with a $300 bill and whatever shipping and customs charges come in after that. I like to space out my my payments. So payment plans really allow me to do that. So sometimes I'll do that, and sometimes I'll be like, no, I don't want to pre-order this one because this one's probably going to go to the bargain bin. Of course, you can't really know, and that's the kind of the catch-22. If you pre-order something and lock it in and spread over the cost, that's great. But what happens if it goes 50% off or something like that? Some things have gone 50% off. So what's important now? So what I do for this is I download a free app called Google Keep. It's basically a handy app for making lists, checklists that you can add to and take away and tick things off, like a shopping list or to-do list, or in my case, pre-order lists. So I have 2 lists. Pre-order list, this is a screenshot from my own pre-order list from the Google Keep app, free app. And I just basically listed all the things that I have pre-ordered there. So we've got the quarter scale Dark Knight, from the Dark Knight trilogy, the in-art sculpted, Spider-Man Batman version, in-art rooted hair. And a lot of these they were on payment plans and they're paid off or nearly paid off, or at the very least have an NRD put on them. So the other list I have, which comes down to prioritizing, is the wish list. So these are figures that I have a strong interest in, or an interest in, varying different interests. Could be like, okay, I'm definitely going to get them. It could be like, I'm more than likely going to get them, and it's like, yeah, I'd like them. So with that, you need to prioritize then. So like a lot of people, if I know that if I have like a lot of things to do at work, I'll just like do a brain dump and jot down every single thing that I have to do, no matter how big or small the task is, whether it's like in a short-term task or medium or long-term. And then I start prioritizing what's important now, back to the win method. So I do this with my wish list as well. I take all the figures, all the figures that I have an interest in, like the ones I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely getting that, and then the ones I'm like, yeah, I'm more than likely getting that, or even the ones kind of, no, that's pretty cool, I did like the source material, it was a triple threat, but I'm not 100% sure, do I need that? Just throw them all down there. The next thing, you see me reshuffle, because the app allows you not only to tick things off when you have completed the task or you've pre-ordered them, and of course you can put them on the pre-order list, but also move things up and down in terms of priority. So the top ones, if I just reshuffle these, quick reshuffle. So look, you had integrated suit in the top and Kenobi, but now you have Besman, Luke and Hobo Goblin, because it makes more sense. Besman, Luke. Let's go through the triple threat checklist. Do I like the character? Yes, it's original trilogy Luke Skywalker. Of course I do. Do I like the source material? Empire Strikes Back, arguably one of the greatest movies, or one of the greatest science fiction movies ever made. And do I like that particular version? Yeah, Besman Luke, the first time he really faces off with Vader. Absolutely. So that's going to happen. The Hobo Goblin from the MCU No Way Home. Do I like the character, the Green Goblin? Yes. Do I like the source material? No Way Home was banger for them. What about that particular version? That is the version I want. I don't really have any interest in the other one. I think this is the one to get, with the glider, obviously the purple hoodie, and it's all heavy battle damage and stuff like that, and the head sculpt. Yes. But then if you look down the bottom, I would like a Kenobi from the TV show. However, recently I picked up for actual great deal, the Alec Guinness Ben Kenobi from A New Hope, and it's a phenomenal figure, and that is the Obi-Wan Kenobi in my opinion. And let's face it, the head sculpt needs a lot of work. So that's stars. You see I put a few stars here because they're things that I want to see the final product. And that's another thing about not pre-ordering. Like, there's pros and cons of pre-ordering. Like pre-ordering, yeah, you lock it in, you can use a payment plan, have it paid off, spread it out over a large period of time. But then again, if it comes out then you're not happy with it, then do you cancel and lose your NRD? Are you stuck with it? Yada yada. But these stars here, I'm waiting to see the Doc Ock head sculpt. I probably will not commit to that until I see the head sculpt. The Batman Begins suit Batman, look, Dark Knight trilogy is my favourite trilogy, but Dean Knight pointed out that those clips, they're not in the right position. Also kind of has that pigeon neck thing going on. So yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see what the final product looks like, see if they're actually going to fix it, or they're just going to give us what was on the prototype, which, to be honest, I don't think was necessarily good enough. I'm not sure if I could commit to it. I probably still would, because I really like the first Night Out outfit. I'm going off on a tangent, but you know what I mean. So the little asterisk is there just to kind of remind me I'm waiting to see on certain things. And the double B's here, things destined for the bargain bin, I think, just here on this list. Integrated Suit, Endgame Loki, Mando, Luke. I think these are all destined for the bargain bin. The Scout Trooper and Speeder Bike, there's already deals appealing on it. Of course, I could be completely wrong about all these things, but these are just from my own, what I'm seeing going on. Like the Integrated Suit, I'm 99% sure that's destined for the bargain bin. So my point is, I've got my pre-order list, locked them in, then I've got my wish list and my prioritized wish list, where these top ones are the ones that I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to get these. Like, I'm not sure if the in-app Batman should be that high, really. I think this should be a bit lower, because I have the Hot Toys one coming, but you get my point. So with that then, it's kind of, do I pre-order or not? I'm going to talk about that in step 4. So moving on to step 3, shop around, no loyalty method. Now, I've been preaching about this a lot. I don't have any like contract or any like official affiliate to any official distributor or any reseller or retailer or anything like that. I do actually do reviews for Lion Rock Toys, but how I do that is I pick out the figure I want. And I basically do exactly what I'm going to show you how to do now. I presume we all do this anyway. I go through, I pick out that particular item, and then I open up a bunch of tabs for all the different resellers or retailers or distributors that actually have that particular product, and I add it to my cart, and then I add in the shipping and the tax and do the calculation, and then I compare. And I take the cheapest one and I bring them, the cheapest one, and I bring them to Lion Rock and say, look, I'm going to pull the trigger on this. Can you beat that price? And, in fairness, they haven't let me down, and in exchange then I do reviews for them. So just full transparency there, and like they're a fantastic reseller based in Hong Kong, great customer service, nice website as well, and they just really looked after me. So in this particular case though, actually Lion Rock Toys, I don't think they're stocking the Swoop bike. If I'm wrong about that, I might double check that, but I did check and they didn't have it last Sunday. So what I did last Sunday was I opened up these 5 tabs, because I see a lot of people talking about Sideshow, T-Dubs, Toys Buying Agent, Pop Culture and Pop Collectibles. For better or for worse, those names, you can't deny whether you like them or not, they come up a lot, they're quite popular, they're always mentioned for various different reasons. So what I did was I added the Swoop bike, obviously up here on the picture here, to my cart on 5 different websites, and I cross-compared the prices. So Sideshow had it for $285, Toys Wonderland had it for $159, that's quite impressive. Toys Buying Agent $230, Pop Culture $230, and Pop Collectibles $214. Now, of course, everyone knows that shipping costs can definitely vary. And some of these distributors, Toys Wonderland, they're notorious for having really, really high shipping costs. So factoring in the shipping costs. So I added to my cart, and obviously because I'm in Ireland, this was the price of the item, factoring in the shipping that it would cost me to get it to Ireland. So move this over here. Right, so with that being said then, the most expensive one is Sideshow. The cheapest one is Toys Wonderland. And again, I know I'm not like you have to factor in the measuring up risk and stuff like that yourself. That's for you to judge, but I've got 14 figures on my shelf from Toys Wonderland. Yeah, I've had 1 or 2 little speed bumps with them where I've had to contact customer services and speak directly to different people and stuff like that on it. Eventually got sorted, but yeah, look, it's each to their own. I would definitely buy them off. I would definitely buy off them again, but I wouldn't recommend them. Whereas I would recommend Lion Rock Toys because their customer service is fantastic. Big difference there. So Sideshow $350, Toys Wonderland $244, Toys Buying Agent $272, Pop Culture, who are getting really popular, at no pun intended, at the moment. They're doing really, really good deals. From what I hear, great things about them. Pop Collectibles $326. Now, because I'm in Ireland, every time we order something and it comes across our borders, if we order something from outside the European Union and it's worth €100 or more, we're subjected to tax, usually about 30%, and that's not just the item, it's the price of the item plus the shipping. If that's over 100, we get stung for another 30%. Are you waiting for it? Remember, that Swoop bike on Sideshow is $285, but we factor in shipping and we factor in import tax, bang, $455. That's it's not worth $455. Let's be real. Toys Wonderland $315, Toys Buying Agent $302, Pop Culture $365, and Pop Collectibles $424. Now, just in case some of you eagle-eyed viewers are absolute mathematicians, mathematical geniuses, human calculators, you'll notice that I didn't. Obviously, if I add 30% onto 272, it is not 302. It would be higher than that. However, typically a 6 scale figure. When I order from Toys Buying Agent, my customs charges are significantly less. That's a game changer. With Lion Rock Toys, I don't get charged any, but Lion Rock Toys didn't actually have this in stock when I was looking at it last Sunday, so I had to be fair and transparent. That's why they're not here. But I really like Lion Rock Toys because I don't get stung for customs charges or import, which is fantastic, an absolute game changer. And when I order from Toys Buying Agent, and other people as well have told me, people I know and trust, that when they order from Toys Buying Agent, they get charged very, very little customs, which is, you know, phenomenal. Like if you look at the difference there, Sideshow, $350 for the swoop bike and the shipping to Ireland. In fairness, that's like, what's that, like $65 to ship the swoop bike. And look at the jump up then, $105 just for import tax. That's a game changer. So in this particular case, Toys Buying Agent would have won out. Now, of course, with Black Friday and Christmas and New Year's, there's gonna be sales. And that would change up like who would win on any particular day for a particular item. Like this could be different if I went for the Stormtrooper Commander, or maybe Iron Man Mark 46, or, you know, whatever. So, but for this particular item, as of last Sunday, Toys Buying Agent would have won that. So hence the term no loyalty. Why would you be loyal to one particular reseller if you're going to be spending more and more money? I mean, yeah, you could argue like the customer service, the peace of mind, but often the best type of customer service, the one you don't need, they just get you the product and there's no issue then. But yeah, so the Toys Buying Agent would win out there. Then step 4, pre-orders and payment plans. Just going to talk about this real quickly. A lot of, for maybe the last year, a lot of YouTubers were saying don't pre-order, don't pre-order, don't pre-order. I definitely have slowed down on pre-orders. But even during that time, in the midst of that, I had to still pre-order because, not fear of missing out, but more I like to spread my payments over a period of time, like 5 or 6 months. I like payment plans. A lot of people don't, but I do. I like to put on the NRD and then space out over the longest period possible. So maybe like $50. I'd rather pay $50 a month for 6 months than get hit with $300 plus shipping plus import tax. It just gets very messy. And if I don't pre-order something, then what I find is my wish list gets longer and longer and longer, and I keep adding things to it, and the pre-order list is getting shorter because things are getting released, and that's great. But with the wish list getting longer and longer and longer, and then when things start dropping, it gets a bit overwhelming. So that's why I like to identify what I want, prioritize, and then I usually trim the top. Every so often I look at the top 2 or 3 from the wish list, and I will engage in step 3, which is basically no loyalty, and find the cheapest price, and I'll lock in a few pre-orders and payment plans to space out my payments. So yeah, I like payment plans, each to their own. I know some people like they don't like them, they wait for things to drop and just they bargain hunt. The disadvantage of payment plans or pre-ordering is that even if I shop around and get a good deal, if I lock it in then and get it, I may then see the same items for like 20%, 25% off or a better deal a few months after that. But that's a risk I'm willing to take, because with the ones that I don't pre-order that I predict going to bargain bin, if they do, you save some money then on that end. There's another disadvantage of locking things in payment plans. You don't get to see the final product, and that's a big deal, because if something comes out and the head sculpt is hideous, then and you're kind of locked in. Do you cancel, lose your NRD? So yeah, there's definitely pros and cons. But yeah, that's what I do basically. I identify what I want, follow the triple threat, add them to the wish list, prioritize the wish list, and every now and then I'll order those top 3. But however, before I do that, I will cross compare, shop around, and hunt for that cheapest deal, and usually go to Lion Rock Toys and go, look, can you beat this? And in fairness to them, they have been very, very accommodating, and I like making reviews for them because they are a good reseller. The final step is something that it's not necessarily about prioritizing your collection, but it kind of is in a way. It's just gratitude. Like, looking at these things behind, like, gratitude is the attitude. And like a lot of time, collectors, and myself included, sometimes we get caught up on what's next instead of thinking and appreciating, having gratitude for what now. And in fairness, sometimes, like, when I finish the streams, turn off everything, I'll sit here for a minute or two and just admire something, and I'll always pick out a detail of, maybe like something about Snowspeeder Luke that I'd never noticed before, some sort of like the articulation in Iron Man or something like that. But yeah, anyway, look, they're my my thoughts, and hope that you've got some sort of value from them. But if you want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know if you do any of these particular steps or not, or if any of these you're going to adopt them. Would any of them actually help you? Yeah, you can just leave a comment. Thanks for watching. You can also follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.